my twin brother.
Kent says,
Come, sir, arise, away, I'll teach you differences. Away, away. If you will measure your lubber's length again, Terry. But away, go to. Have you wisdom? So...
Look at that footnote for lubber. What's the reference for a lubber?
Clumsy oaf.
If you will be tripped by me again, Ken threatens to measure Oswald's length across the floor by tripping him and laying him out flat. A lubber is a clumsy oaf.
So Ken's pretty strong about wanting to show Lear he respects him and considers him with such respect. Oswald exits, and Lear says,
Now, my friendly knave, I thank thee.
Ooh, I cannot wait for you to meet the fool. Whoever reads the fool has to have really sharp wit, and it's not me, so I'm not reading it. I'm telling you now.
You have to be really
Okay,
sassy,
I'm not good with the quick wit thing.
There is earnest of thy service.
And he gives Kent money in payment for serving him.
Let me hire him too. Here's my coxcomb.
What's a coxcomb, just for visual clarity?
Fool's cap.
And he offers it to Kent.
How now, my pretty lady? How dost thou?
Syra? Is that
Syrah.
Syrah, you would best take my coxcomb.
Why, my boy?
Why? For taking one's part that's out of favor. Nay, and thou canst not smile as the wind sits. Thou'lt catch cold shortly.
Now pause for a second, read your footnote. If you can't agree with those in control, it will be worse for you. Now, even though he sounds joking and he's a fool, he's being quite honest in his wit. It's really true. If you can't agree with those in control, it'll be worse for you. So he's kind of saying, Kent, you want to actually pay attention to those in control, even though he wanted to give him his coxcomb, and Kent is here to serve Lear. Now notice too, he doesn't speak in blank. He speaks in, because he is of what feudal caste? He's the lowest of the low, supposedly in the play.
Even though he's the wittiest and smartest of all of them.
You shall see as the play goes on if that's true. I think there may be great truth in what you're saying. Now, I don't want you to think always that in the feudal caste, every low commoner, the lowest in the feudal system, spoke in prose, but it was quite the norm. You know, no, not in real Shakespearean in the 1600s did people walk around in blank verse, I'm sure. But
That'd be fun.
wouldn't it be nice if they did though? Oh,
Let's do it.
poetry
I feel like it'd
to
be
my
hard.
ears.
It'd take a long
Poetry
time to
to
talk
my
or say
ears.
anything.
Did you
There.
finish that one?
No.
Okay.
There, take my coxcomb. Why, this fellow has banished 2 one's daughters, and did the 3rd a blessing against his will. If thou follow him, thou must needs wear my coxcomb.
Ooh.
How now, Knuckle? Would I had 2 coxcombs and 2 daughters.
Why, my boy?
If I gave them all my living, I'd keep my coxcomb myself. There's mine. Beg another of thy daughters.
Oh,
Take heed, Sirrah, the whip.
Truth's a dog must to kennel. He must be whipped out, when the lady branch may stand by the fire and stink.
now guys, you need to take a look at that footnote. First of all, nuncle means mine uncle. The whip means fools were punished by whipping when they offended their patrons, right? And then look at the actual analogy when he said, truth's a dog must to kennel. Some people say that's like a proverb or an adage or a very, befitting phrase. He must be whipped out when the Lady Brock may stand by the fire and stink. Brock was a term given for a hound bitch. The comparison is between truth and fawning flattery, like that of a petted bitch. Many editors amend the folio reading to Lady the Brock on the basis that Lady was a popular name for pets. And so, when you read this, he's really saying to him, in more than anything, there is truth and there's flattery. And remember, look at what the fool said up above about why this fellow has banished his 2 own daughters and did the 3rd a blessing against his will. And did the what? the third a blessing against his will. The fool feels that Cordelia is actually what? Better off.
Where is that? What line?
I'm on line number 99 in the middle of the fool's lengthier earlier prose, starting with Y. After there, take up my coxcomb. And he said, if thou follow him, meaning, Kent, if you're going to be following Lear, you need to wear my clown's cap. Because literally, right now, Lear, the fool is announcing to you and me that who does he think is really the fool?
Lear.
Yes, you're getting it, right? I'm not losing you, am I? Because sometimes I know I lose people in the opening with the fool, and I'm not going to let that happen.
So he's basically saying that, because he can't say directly to Lear, because that would be...
Because he'd be whipped. You're with me, right?
Right.
Using the context of what the actual dialogue. Absolutely. So he says it in such a joking way to Kent. And so when he says truth's a dog must a kennel, he's really saying there's truth and there's fawning flattery. And of course, Lear has been moved by the fawning flattery of his two oldest daughters. And we know it's because he's so rash and hasty, but it shows you right off the bat that the fool thinks that Lear is a fool. Which to me is incredibly funny and sad all at the same time. Yes? Funny and sad all at the same time. The fool is calling his own king a fool. Funny, but sad because he's really right. Great content stuff for an essay. You know what I mean? I think what the fool says here is great quotable for characterization for Lear. Personally, that's what I think on a collegiate kind of level. If you want to steal it, there's nothing wrong with that.